Ever pictured that, perfectly functional, beautiful kitchen, the dream kitchen?
Yeah, everyone has that image, right?
Exactly, where every drawer just glides, surfaces gleam, and it just feels like the heart of your home. It's a universal dream, I think.
Definitely.
But for so many of us, the actual price tag, figuring out how to make that dream happen, it can feel like, well, like navigating a total maze.
It really can seem overwhelming at first.
So today we're doing a deep dive into something super relevant for, honestly, millions of homeowners, understanding the real costs behind a 12 by 12 kitchen remodel.
And that size, 12 by 12, it's not just random.
No, not at all. It's actually one of the most common kitchen layouts in American homes. Yeah. So this info, it's going to be really valuable for a lot of you thinking about a renovation.
That's right. Our mission today, really, is to kind of pull back the curtain on those average costs, dig into what really influences that final price tag, because it can be surprising, right?
Totally.
And hopefully give you some practical tips, actionable stuff you can actually use for planning your own renovation with real confidence.
Like a shortcut to getting informed about a pretty big decision.
That's the goal, a
Yeah.
genuine shortcut. Because let's face it, it's a significant home investment.
Okay, let's dive right in then. Groundwork time. For this 12 by 12 kitchen remodel, we're generally talking a cost flexibility that typically ranges from maybe $18,000-ish
Yeah.
up to around $42,000.
Yeah, it's a pretty common range.
It's a wide spectrum, though, and we're definitely going to explore what pushes those numbers up or down throughout this deep dive.
Absolutely.
All right, so this 12 by 12 space, why is it so common, and what does that size, 144 square feet, actually feel like?
Well, what's really interesting about the 12 by 12 kitchen is just how versatile it is. 144 square feet. It's a comfortable size.
Right. Not too big, not too small.
Exactly. It allows for a surprising amount of functional design without feeling, cramped.
Yeah.
And like you said, the cost flexibility within that footprint is pretty remarkable. Usually, yeah, $85 to $250 per square foot.
But it could go higher.
Oh, for sure. If you're looking at really high-end customization, premium materials, maybe complex layout changes, we've seen projects hit $300 per square foot, even in that size. It's a great canvas.
Okay, so it's a good functional size.
Yeah.
When we talk about transforming that space, what are the core elements that really shape the project? And, the cost. It's not just buying new stuff, is it?
No, not at all. Fundamentally, it boils down to the choices you make right at the start. The first big one, scope of the project.
Scope.
No.
Okay.
I mean, there's a huge difference between what you might call a simple kitchen upgrade.
Like new countertops, maybe paint, appliances.
Exactly. New countertops, updated appliances, fresh paint. That costs significantly less than a full remodel.
Which involves...
That's where you're talking new cabinets, maybe new flooring, possibly even reimagining the whole layout, moving things around.
Ah, okay. So more involved means potentially more value boost.
Generally, yes. A more involved project gives you a much greater opportunity to seriously boost the kitchen's value, its functionality, and its style. It really depends how much of the existing kitchen you're changing.
Makes sense. So scope is number one. What about the actual stuff you put in the kitchen, the materials? That must be massive for cost.
Oh, absolutely huge. Material choices are, well, they're paramount. They don't just shape the final look. They dictate a huge chunk of the cost.
Give me an example, like cabinets.
Perfect example. You could go with stock cabinets. They're a really affordable solution if you need a quick update.
Okay. The budget option?
Right. But if you want true personalization, maybe make the absolute most of every inch of space, get that really elevated style, then you're looking at custom cabinets.
And the price reflects that, I assume?
It does. But with that higher price, you're getting, precision fitting, unique finishes, specialized hardware things tailored exactly to your space. Stock options just can't match.
And beyond cabinets. Countertops, fixtures.
Same idea. Things like quartz countertops or designer fixtures, they definitely enhance the look and function, but they come at a different price point than, say, laminate or standard fixtures. The key is understanding that flexibility between prefabricated and custom finishes. You got to find what aligns with your budget and your vision.
Okay, materials are huge. Then there's putting it all together. Labor. That's got to be a significant slice of the pie, right? Especially skilled labor.
You're spot on. Labor typically represents anywhere from, say, 20 to 35% of total remodeling budget. It's a really critical investment.
Especially for tricky stuff.
Absolutely. If your project involves complex plumbing changes or electrical upgrades or maybe even complete structural transformation, you need skilled professionals.
You don't want to DIY the plumbing, probably.
Probably not. Investing wisely here ensures everything's level, works smoothly, and is safe. It guarantees, well, outstanding results that last and helps you avoid really costly mistakes later.
Okay. And what about the official side? Permits. Are those a big cost or more like red tape?
Permits are usually a smaller part of the budget, thankfully,
Yeah.
but they are absolutely non-negotiable for certain things.
Like the plumbing and electrical we just mentioned.
Exactly. Often required for plumbing, electrical upgrades, or any structural changes. Think of them as like a vital safety net.
Makes sense. Ensures it's up to code.
Right. Safety, code compliance. It prevents future headaches and gives you really important long-term peace of mind, which is invaluable, really.
Okay. And one more element. What about getting help with the overall plan, design services? Is hiring a kitchen designer worth the extra cost?
That's a great question. Hiring a kitchen designer can honestly be a game changer for some projects.
How?
Well, they don't just pick colors, right? A good designer tailors the space to your specific lifestyle, your taste, your functional needs. They think about workflow, storage.
Things maybe I wouldn't think of.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And yeah, it adds to the final cost. But good design can actually prevent expensive mistakes like awkward layouts or wasted space. A skilled designer really elevates your vision into something that not only looks amazing, but works beautifully for you every day.
So it's an investment in getting it right the first time.
Exactly. Optimizing every single one of those 144 square feet.
Okay. It's easy to talk about the total cost, but breaking it down, seeing where the money actually goes, that's really empowering, isn't it?
It absolutely is.
So let's pull back that curtain. What are the big cost drivers by percentage? What usually surprises people the most?
I think the biggest surprise for many is the sheer dominance of cabinets.
Really? More than appliances?
Often, yes.
Mm.
Cabinets are a really significant investment. Typically, we're looking at 25 to 40% of the entire budget.
Wow. Why so much?
Well, think about it. It's not just the wood boxes. It's the precision, maybe custom sizing, the finishes, the hardware, the drawers, the installation. They provide the core structure, the primary storage, and hugely define the kitchen style.
Okay, 25 to 40% for cabinets. What's next?
After that, countertops usually account for about 10 to 15%.
Yeah.
And you've got options there like quartz, granite, even butcher block to fit different styles and budgets.
Right. So cabinets and countertops together, that could be like half the budget right there.
It could easily be, yeah,
Yeah.
especially in higher-end remodel.
Okay. What about the machines, the appliances?
Appliances generally fall between 10 and 20%. Often it's about replacing older models with more modern, energy-efficient ones.
Well,
That adds function, but also aesthetic
And
value.
people doing the work.
Labor.
Labor, as we touched on, is another big chunk, usually 15 to 25%. That pays for the experienced professionals who bring it all together correctly and efficiently. It's the skill factor.
Okay, so cabinets, countertops, appliances, labor.
Yeah.
What's left? Those finishing touches. Exactly. Lighting, flooring, and fixtures. Those typically make up the remaining 10 to 20%.
And they make a big difference, I bet.
A huge difference.
Yeah.
They really transform the kitchen from just, a functional work zone into a warm, inviting, stylish heart of the home. People often underestimate the impact of good lighting or the right flooring.
Okay, that breakdown is super helpful. Now let's talk scale. What's the average cost difference between, say, a minor refresh versus a major gutted-out kitchen remodel in that 12 by 12 space? Because remodel can mean very different things.
Oh, absolutely. It's a vast spectrum. Let's start with a minor remodel.
Okay.
This is a really smart, cost-effective option if, your basic layout works fine and your cabinet boxes are still in good shape.
So you're not tearing everything out.
Right. You're focusing on upgrades like maybe refacing the existing cabinets,
Yeah.
getting new doors and fronts.
Cabinet refacing. Okay.
Yeah. Plus new countertops, maybe some modern appliances, updated lighting or fixtures. For that kind of refresh, you're typically looking at an estimated range between, say, $12,000 and $18,000.
That sounds much more manageable for a lot of people.
It's a fantastic, budget-friendly way to get a fresh, updated look without the huge disruption and cost of a full demolition.
Okay, that's the minor refresh. But what if someone is ready for that complete transformation, where the kitchen isn't just updated, it's fundamentally different?
Right. That's the major remodel. And it's a really valuable opportunity to completely transform your space.
This involves tearing things out, moving walls maybe?
Often, yes. It could involve moving walls, definitely reconfiguring the layout. We're talking brand new cabinetry, high-performance appliances, a really thoughtfully redesigned layout.
And probably updating the hidden stuff, too.
For sure. Modern updates to the plumbing and electrical systems are usually part of a major remodel. It's a much more significant investment, obviously.
And the cost reflects that, I assume.
It does. This is where you see that range of typically $22,000 up to $69,000 or sometimes even more.
69,000 or more for a 12 by 12. Wow.
Well, think about it. If you're doing structural changes, going for truly premium custom finishes, maybe high-end European appliances, yeah, it can definitely climb.
So that higher end, pushing past 69K, that's for the really upscale, maybe structural changes, luxury finishes kind of job.
Exactly. It's a thoughtful investment in top-tier craftsmanship, enhanced functionality, beautiful, possibly unique finishes. It elevates the entire home.
But the result, presumably, is a space that really enhances daily living and boosts home value significantly.
Absolutely. It's about transforming the whole experience of your kitchen, making it a bespoke space that perfectly fits your lifestyle.
Okay, so we understand the costs, the ranges,
Mhm.
but let's talk value. When you invest in a well-planned kitchen remodel, what are you really getting for your money beyond just, new cupboards and counters? What's the true value proposition here?
That's such an important point. It's way more than just the sum of the parts,
Mm.
right? Understanding what each piece contributes helps you plan with confidence because every dollar should support both style and lasting function.
So let's take cabinets again. You said they're a big cost. What's the value beyond just storage?
Well, those cabinets, they're a really smart and valuable investment. They don't just store stuff. They define the whole aesthetic and the functional flow of your kitchen.
And choosing cabinets over, say, open shelving,
Yeah.
that adds cost, but also value.
Definitely. Opting for full cabinets, even if it adds to the budget initially, provides way more hidden storage, creates a more refined, less cluttered look, and adds long-term value. Keeps things looking tidy.
Okay, that makes sense. Storage is always key. What about countertops? Beyond looking nice.
Right. With countertops, selecting materials like laminate, granite, or quartz lets you personalize, yes, but you're choosing based on durability, style, and long-term performance. You're getting a workhorse surface that needs to stand up to daily life and still look great years down the line.
And appliances. More than just cooking.
Oh yeah, appliances are essential to both the performance and the personality of the kitchen. Modern, energy-efficient models, they don't just look sleek, they make cooking, cleaning, entertaining easier, more enjoyable, and often more eco-friendly. They can even save you money on utility bills over time.
And those finishers, flooring and lighting.
Crucial. They really complete the space. Good lighting transforms usability, especially task lighting. The right flooring enhances appearance, sure, but also durability and comfort underfoot. They turn a room into a truly inviting space.
Okay. And the labor, again, the value beyond just installation.
Labor is vital. It's the skilled execution that brings your vision to life accurately and ensures high-quality, precise results. It's the peace of mind knowing things are installed correctly, safely, avoiding future problems.
And lastly, those permits and inspections. The value there is.
Peace of mind and protection. They ensure everything meets safety and building codes. This avoids potentially costly delays, fixes, or even legal issues later. Plus, it adds documented value to your home when you go to sell. It's proof it was done right.
Okay, this is all incredibly helpful context, but for someone listening, maybe feeling a bit overwhelmed by those potential numbers, let's get practical. What are some top tips for staying on budget during a kitchen remodel? Where should you start?
Great question. First, I'd strongly suggest talking to local kitchen remodelers. Get a few in,
Why local specifically?
because they know the local market, the trends, typical costs in your area. They can give you invaluable insights and, crucially, real-world cost examples right where you live. That initial chat can save a ton of guesswork.
Good point. So talk to local pros. What's next?
Definitely get multiple estimates, not just one. Compare quotes for both materials and labor.
To ensure you're getting fair prices.
Exactly. To ensure you're getting the best value and also to spot any major outliers, high or low, which might be red flags.
Okay. What about saving on big ticket items like cabinets? Any tricks there?
Well, if your existing cabinet boxes are solid, that tip about repainting or refinishing is huge. It can be a really stylish and remarkably budget-friendly way to get a whole new look without the cost of ripping everything out and replacing it.
Smart. Small change, big impact. What else helps to keep you financially on track once things get going?
It is absolutely key to stay focused on your top priorities. What matters most to you?
Like, is it the countertops, the appliances, the layout?
Precisely. Know what your non-negotiables are. This helps you direct your budget towards those features and avoid getting tempted by, appealing but maybe non-essential upgrades that creep in.
Stick to the plan.
Stick to the plan mostly. But also, and this is so important, build in a little flexibility, a contingency fund.
Ah, for the unexpected surprises.
Exactly. Maybe 10–15% of your total budget set aside, because let's be real, in renovations, surprises can happen. Unforeseen plumbing issues, maybe finding asbestos, or maybe you just fall in love with slightly pricier tiles. Having that buffer helps you navigate those moments with ease without derailing the whole project.
That's really wise advice. Okay, so we've covered a lot today in this deep dive on the 12 by 12 kitchen remodel. If there's one big takeaway, one overarching lesson about navigating this investment, what would you want our listeners to remember?
I think the main thing is this. Yes, the average cost depends on so many factors, some we've discussed, some unique to your situation, but really understanding that full picture, knowing the components, the ranges, the value propositions, that empowers you. It lets you plan with clarity and real confidence. You're not just guessing anymore.
Right, you're making informed decisions. And bringing it back to that initial range we mentioned, roughly $18,000 to $42,000 for a 12 by 12 kitchen. That budget, while significant, really does allow for meaningful improvements, enhancements to your daily comfort, and the overall value of your home.
Exactly. It's not just an expense line. It's an investment in an asset. And remember, with those custom updates and thoughtful design choices, your kitchen can genuinely reflect your personal style, your needs. It becomes a space that brings you joy.
And that flexibility you mentioned, planning with a bit of wiggle room, that helps balance the immediate decisions with the long-term value, right?
It's perfectly put. It helps you create a space that you'll love living and working in and day out.
Ultimately, having that clear budget, having a solid grasp of these remodeling costs, it just sets the stage for a successful and hopefully really rewarding experience. It's about more than just the money, isn't it? It's transforming a core part of your home life.
Absolutely. And maybe a final thought to leave people with. Try not to think of a kitchen remodel as just an expense. See it as a strategic investment. An investment in your daily living, yes, but also in your home's long-term value, and maybe even in your personal well-being.
How so?
Well, think about how this investment might transform things beyond just the space itself. Your family's routines, how you entertain, maybe even your cooking habits, your overall quality of life for years to come, you know?
Mhm.
What kind of memories are you going to cook up in that newly transformed space? That's the real payoff.